You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 13th meeting for the Michiana Shores Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order then now. It is 7 o'clock, so I will ask everyone to sit.
Recording in progress.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, Jerome, please take the roll call.
President Dumbrief.
Here.
Samantha Arnold.
Here.
Ralph Box.
Present.
Sam Paxton.
Here.
Rich Young. I'm here. Attorney Brad Adamski.
Here.
Fire Chief Gary Bendix.
No.
No, he's not. I think he's not around.
No.
Police Chief Mark Swisted.
Is absent.
He's absent.
He's absent too. What's with our police? Park Board President Jean Paxton.
Is Jane going to be online?
Will not be here.
Okay, absent.
She's going to be absent. Okay.
All right.
And BZA, Matt Bowen, he's absent. And Building Commissioner, Code Enforcement Officer Brian Alexander.
Here.
Present.
Okay, and Floodplain Administrator Andrew Bertocci.
Bertocchini.
Bertocchini.
Bertocchini, okay, if you say so. He's absent or is he here?
He is absent.
And Plan Commission President Isaac Zeckel.
He's
Not here.
He is, okay,
She's not.
okay. Got a lot of absent people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Samantha Arnold for website, we know you're here, you
I
already
am here.
answered. And Road Commissioner Bob Sokolsky,
Here.
okay.
Thank you very much, Joan. So now, I sent out an agenda yesterday and asked everybody to hold on to any other comments. I thank you for the comments you sent me. I think I put all the things in. If I did not, remind us now, and add anything else that you know, make any suggestions for our agenda, any corrections, additions.
The only, where'd it go? There it is, two revisions. You have minutes for the 11th and the 8th. I think we have 3.
Oh, we have the
April 22nd,
bids and the appropriations, right? Okay.
additional appropriations on the 22nd, and the 8th was the town council meeting, and then the 24th was the bids.
Okay, bids. Or CCMG. Okay, very good, thank you.
So I don't know where this would go, but I see that Skip Moffo has joined us, and I believe he wants to talk about, give an update on the pickleball court situation.
Awesome. Well, that would be
Yeah.
under the
Park
parks
board.
then.
Park board.
Yeah, is that the appropriate place for it?
Yes, park board report. Awesome.
We've got a written
Skip.
report from Jeannie, and so you can.
Yes, she did. She sent me.
And go along with that.
Report, and I'll give her a report.
Cool.
Can I get a copy of it?
You were included on the
You were
email.
I believe. If not, I'll forward it to you, but I think you are on
Yeah.
it.
I didn't pull up mine.
Yep,
Okay.
you're on it.
Yeah.
When was it sent?
All right, thank you, Samantha, for those additions. And then I'm adding under 6, I'm going to do a 6A, an appointment to the Plan Commission. So I'm going to stick that one in there.
You already have
6A, 6B.
Well, no, it's not good, I'm sorry. I meant like 6 capital A, because it's not an ordinance or resolution, it is an appointment. So I can't call it 7 or 6, so it's
Would it be
maybe
a-
a double 6, 66?
Would it be a resolution, or would it?
No, it's not a resolution, it is just an appointment. It would go under appointments, but I forgot a section called appointments.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just calling, 6 capital A, not little a.
Gotcha.
Is
Well,
appointment, okay?
Works for me.
Okay, so that's what I have added there. And then I have some more communications, but I'm not going to add them because I could just address them in it when we come down to it, okay?
Okay.
Also, okay. So, in that case, I need a motion to approve the agenda as corrected.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Bill Box approves, moves to approve. I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, Sam seconds. And all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, aye. And the 4 ayes have it, and the agenda has been approved. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes that Joe sent out to us? Those are for March 11th, April 8th, which were town council meetings. April 22nd was for the appropriations meeting, special meeting, and for the trucks purchase and additional fees that we needed to approve at the time. And April 24th bids for the CCMG.
I don't have a May 11th, I have 24th, 8th, and
You
22nd.
got the May from last month. It was in your email from last month.
Yes, April is there, but today's, the ones for, not for May, but April we have, but March, did we need March?
Yeah.
We needed March 11th, because we did not approve those. There was some question about that. I don't have a copy of that, I didn't make a copy of that. So unless anybody remembers, in particular, why we did not approve at that time.
You were
April
moved to not approve.
I'm sorry?
You were approved to not move anything that night.
Only when, well, Joan, if we had vouchers that did not apply to that particular month, we could not approve. So that was a problem.
So what did you say about the minutes you didn't have?
We did not approve the minutes of the March 11th meeting, and now we have the minutes of the April 18th, 22nd, and 24th. So, but I did not think even to review again or bring out a copy of the 11th. Do you have a copy?
No, that's why we didn't approve it last time, because we didn't have them. We tabled it, approve it.
Oh, because we did not have a copy of the minutes, I think?
I think so, I'm gonna double check.
And you
Yeah,
have-
because I had not received, or they may have been sent out just before the meeting started, that's right.
Do you want a copy of
Okay.
them? I'll make copies for you.
Let me see.
Do you want a copy to look at now, council?
If I've got it, I can look at it.
Okay, I'll take a look at mine too.
If you find it, Samantha, tell me when it was.
What's that?
Tell me when you received it. if you
Okay.
Have it present.
Anybody need a copy? You can read them.
Oh, yeah, copies here, great.
Okay, very good, okay.
Sam and I can
You're gonna
share.
sign them eventually,
All
but
right, here we go.
there's 2 copies there.
There's 2 copies here of the,
But I
okay,
need those
there's 2
copies
copies,
back
that's for the
signed.
fellows there, and here's
Yes.
one for us to
Okay.
get here. Okay.
The March 11th, oh, okay.
We didn't do that, right?
We did not approve them last month.
Did we do the vouchers for March?
No, we didn't.
We
have
did not
to
look
do
That's what
March.
we're looking at, we did not.
No payroll.
For March we did, but not for April. We're gonna do April today.
April's due this month.
Let's see. Vouchers are March 11th.
Okay, I don't have any minutes.
The only thing, I noted that we had additional vouchers that we approved of 1354. Oh, and you have a blank for vouchers approved, and that was around 18K. So that needs to be added to the minutes. That was the March vouchers that were approved. I think that's all I have. Let's see.
This one is misnamed here.
We don't have anything for new business under the March 11th meeting notes. We talked about, I was to get a revised pricing from American Legal for the codification, which I did at the following.
We talked about last month.
Yep. So those are the changes I see. Got the tree overhanging. Yep. Okay.
What was that last change you were talking about?
Oh, in the new business under March 11th, new business was talking about doing the codification of the municipal code, recodification, and that I was to get a revised pricing from American Legal Publishing.
That was,
That was under new business. So it was, unless I missed it there. I see unfinished
now there's
business.
some things about that in the
I don't see it.
the April 8th meeting.
Well, we also did it, we talked about on the March 11th that I would go get pricing, and April 11th is when I got the pricing.
Okay, send that to me in an email and I'll change it.
Okay, so we will have to continue the approval of these minutes then until,
Yeah.
until the next month. So we are going to table the minutes of the March 11th meeting to the June meeting so that while we wait for the inclusion of this additional term, okay? All right, no objections from you guys? Or do you want to see about including it right now? That Joan
You
would
can
write
write
it?
it in if you want.
Someone could write it in,
won't
then
have
we
to
won't
be
have to
done or
look at it.
carried over.
Okay.
I would rather email it to you so you can approve it in, and it's more than just a handwritten edition.
Okay.
I mean, it's a small thing, but I'm
All
trying to be
right, that's true.
consistent.
That sounds very good. Okay, fine. So we will wait until, our
It
next
would be
meeting.
nice to have a written report,
Yeah.
because then I can take it right off the written report, but I don't get a written report.
Samantha's going to send that to you, so you see it very
Okay.
clearly. Okay? Okay, so let us now move on. Since this has been tabled, let us move on to, am I writing this down? Let us move on to the minutes of the April 8th meeting.
And I know every one of you have a copy of that.
I
You
have no
should have had
comments.
time.
You do or not?
I have no comments.
Okay, those were sent out, they were sent out yesterday. I didn't see if you wanted a list for those, but we could check here in case, do you care to take a look at them?
Does anyone have different emails than what I've been using?
No, I think they're all the same.
I'm getting what you sent.
You want to take a look at it or not?
I've already reviewed
Oh,
it.
you looked at it, okay.
This is in April.
Sam? Pardon? Okay, all right.
Okay.
So if there are no corrections or additions to those minutes, then I need a motion to approve.
I move to approve the April 8th council meetings as written.
Okay.
And I will second that.
Okay, Sam Paxton moved, Rob Fox seconded the approval of the minutes from April 8th, 2025. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, all four, aye, I agreed. The minutes have been accepted.
What else? All right.
Okay. Baseball rating, Joe?
No,
Oh, wait.
go ahead.
Now, take a look at the April 22nd public meeting for additional appropriations. The approval of these additional appropriations.
I responded via email to the group earlier today that the additional appropriations were for more than just a down payment.
This is referring,
April 22nd,
Yes.
right?
you have it
Well, all they have to
stated
do,
that it was for
they'll just add in
solely
their
for the
dump
down
truck
payment.
and,
I'm sorry, wait, both of you are talking. Sam, finish, please.
It was broken
Okay.
into three distinct charges.
Right.
The first one was the actual down payment.
Right,
The second was the first year's debt service as provided by Susan Collin.
first year of what?
And then the
service?
third was,
debt service.
then the third one was the insurance premium for the first year.
Okay. Yes, I read what you had written in
And how
the
much
email.
was the debt service?
That was the fee that the bank charged.
I know,
Okay, that's what they called it.
So what, do you know what the price was?
I believe it was very small, like $100 or something like this for the debt. Pardon?
The bank fee? or-
Yeah, it was the bank fee.
That was
Plus, it was like
broken
a
out.
service fee.
It was a service
I think
fee.
It wasn't
150.
broken out in the additional appropriation that I have.
It was or was not?
Was not. The insurance was on there and the dump truck. I'm writing this in here so I don't have to read
Okay.
them again.
Okay.
So we're talking about the April 22nd.
Technically, it was all
April 22nd
the
meeting,
trucks, no
yes.
matter how
Dinah, were you not at that meeting?
Pardon?
Dinah was not at that meeting.
I was not at the bid opening.
This is not the
Was
bid
I?
opening.
I
This-
understand. I said I don't remember. No, I wasn't there. If it was. I
Nobody
may
was
not
at
have
the
been
bid opening.
No, not at the bid opening itself, but at the approval. Okay, so, okay, then maybe I
So,
wasn't.
well,
I thought I was.
okay, well, this says you're
It
not.
does not have you
That's fine.
listed on it.
That's fine.
Um, okay.
So we need to add that Dinah was there. Oh, it says
It
absent,
says
president.
Samantha
What
on
are
it.
you working on? Getting-
Oh, this is the one that I opened.
We are looking at the April 22nd meeting minutes.
And were you there?
So we would have.
Right now, I don't remember. I have to look at my calendar.
I think you
Know
were-
where I was.
I have.
Yeah, you're right. I opened the one on
Samantha
the,
wrote, and you, I think I was there at this one, and you were not there. You and opened the second one,
I
right?
opened the one on the 24th and you
That's
were
right.
not there. And you
Yes,
were on the
I was.
22nd.
I was at the one on the 22nd, yes. So the minutes are wrong, I was there.
The minutes are wrong on the 24th as well because it states it's for meeting purposes for additional appropriations.
Yes, oh, that's just the title is wrong, right? CCMG bid acceptance.
So let's have one person send corrections for the 22nd, or someone can do both, but so we have a list of the corrections for the 22nd and the 24th.
Here, I wrote down what I had here.
Because Joan's going to want
Sure.
an email.
I don't know who wants to, I can give these to Joan.
If you want to give your annotations to John. John, will that
Yes.
be sufficient if Dinah gives you handwritten annotations?
If I can read it.
Here, I tried to, well, most of it was printed. Tell me, Joan, if you need me to rewrite something here.
Okay, so
I
these
believe
need
those
to
two
be,
are correct. Okay. I just wrote down the title up there, and I was present at that meeting.
Okay, there's no reason to redo this one. All we have to do is I'll initial it and you'll initial it. There's no sense in redoing it.
we need to correct them because the attendance is wrong and the title and the,
I just changed mine, but the Dinah was there.
The approval, but see up there, it's the additional appropriations approval. And then in parentheses, I put down the truck purchase, because it's not just additional appropriations,
You
right?
didn't vote on it.
Pardon?
You didn't vote on it on that
It's
meeting.
the
All you did was
22nd.
just the public meeting and you read it.
Okay,
The 22nd title is correct. The public meeting is
Okay.
for the additional appropriation.
okay.
yeah.
Only
that's-
thing,
The title on the 24th is incorrect because it was also listed
you're
as
right, it is.
for additional appropriations. So that needs to be changed to the bid on the ceiling.
And the opening time of the meeting.
That was
is
accepting the bid
correct
and
on
also
the 24th.
awarding it.
It's not ampersand 5 PM.
Oh, yeah. What time was that meeting?
7, wasn't it? Because you said you couldn't come until any earlier, I believe, when we wrote that up.
Yeah, there was one I came earlier because it changed.
Maybe it was
the day.
7:05 when it started.
Which one you talking about?
The April 24th for
Yeah.
the CCMG bids.
Okay. And that was accepting the bids and doing the award.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that was at 7, you're right. The one on
7
was
p.m.
at
Yeah,
7.
well, I changed it, but the computer didn't keep it.
Okay.
Okay,
So are we changing them on the fly and approving them?
So the title has to change, the time of the meeting has to change. I think
okay,
this is okay.
for the one on the 22nd, I marked off absent and I initialed it there that I was present.
Okay,
Okay, and as well, at the bottom here, not that on the bottom, but I added, as per Sam's observation, that it included the first year's debt service and the insurance premium.
And the payment was a big one.
The payment was the first thing that's listed. Yes, the down payment was included, that's the first thing that's listed.
Yep.
And then I added 2 other things here.
So that 14,000 included all three of those. So the down payment wasn't 14,000, it was approximately
7,000, and there was another 7,000 for the first payment
for the first year.
on debt service.
The debt for
Okay.
the first year.
And then the insurance premium had to be included.
Correct.
So
Right.
it's down
I mean,
payment
I can
plus
dig
ins-
through all the notes and find,
Okay, maybe we should just rewrite this one, because this one's looking very sloppy.
yes.
I know
So
Joan said no, but that, we should rewrite this one, and maybe one of
Just
us
go
can
ahead
rewrite
and
it.
rewrite it, and I'll
and
see if
send
I
it.
approve it.
Okay. All right, and then we'll just approve it next month then, okay? After everything's been written.
I think that's a good idea.
I think
Okay,
that's a good
so we're
idea.
going to table to, to June. All right, so now we have the 31st table, then we have the April 22nd. Okay, April 24th, we just needed to correct the time here,
And the title?
and the title was changed, okay? Do you want us to rewrite this one or leave this one alone?
If I'm retyping, I might just well do it with along with the other one.
Oh, so are you going to change that one then?
You're not approving it tonight? You
Okay.
just send
Well,
it-
I'm just asking,
Then what?
I just asked the council if they wanted to approve it with the initial change, or do you want a clear copy of the second one?
I'm
This-
fine with,
You're fine with
I'm
this?
fine.
I can sign that. Oh, you
Okay.
guys sign that.
Okay, all right. Well, I signed it, but I'm just asking
Yeah.
for your approval on that.
I'm okay with it.
All right, okay, so I cannot sign this
So-
because you need to sign it, Samantha.
We should vote on that.
So who is
on
all
which
in
part?
favor of approving the meeting minutes from the April 24th public meeting for the CCMG Board Acceptance, noting the corrected time and title of the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Ralph has made a motion, can I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, who's going to
I
find?
will, can you second something when you weren't there? Oh, yeah, you can
I
second.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I could second it here.
And it's been seconded by Dinah, all in favor?
I can second.
Okay, great. All
I can't
opposed?
vote.
Great. And it's passed to approve the meeting minutes of the April 24th public meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so that one is approved.
One copy of that is approved, okay? Joan, we have that. So we'll need a second copy of that one then to approve.
Right in
To
what
write
you
it in.
want.
Whoop, this is the other one. This is the one that we're not approving today, the one we're going to retype. The one for the 24th is the one that we approved right now. So we just need signatures on a second copy. We'll make a correction on it and then,
Make the correction, I can already.
I made a correction here already, but we don't have another printed copy. I only have one. If you have a copy of that one.
Approved.
It's the April 24th meeting minutes. Okay, I'll just make the correction on it. If you give that to me, thank you. Okay. All right, we need your signature on that, please.
Oh, this is a second copy?
Yes, the second. Okay, Joan, here, these are the signed ones for the 24th. All right, so,
You accepted the one for?
Yes.
For the 8th.
no, the one, what, for the 8th, we did accept, yes.
Yes.
We did.
The 8th and the 21st, 4th, and did not accept the 11th or the 22nd.
I have a copy of the 8th if we need, but do you need an extra copy, Joan? Pardon?
I'm lucky.
Okay.
I've got so many papers here, I don't. I have just as many next month. I think there's 2 copies here.
I have an extra one if we need.
Maybe just go ahead and put it in with it.
Add mine to yours?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 2 copies for you.
I'll sign that one.
What is this one?
That's my copy, second copy.
Oh. Okay, so you didn't need the one that I signed? All
Right,
right.
you don't need it. You can keep
Pardon?
one, you can keep that one.
Okay, all right, so here are the signed copies. All right, then I am moving this, okay, we're going to move it now into the vouchers, reports from the board treasurer. So, first of all, it was March 31st, correct, we're looking at?
First thing you're going to look at, I'm going to review the payroll, and in going over, closing out the year, it was noticed that we did not approve the December 31st payroll, so I have to process that tonight too. And the total on the payroll for December was $24,399.34,
Wait, so we're approving the December payroll as well as the
December
March?
31st. though.
as well as the April and the March.
So that first one was just for December.
This is just for December.
Okay, so, and the sum was 24,399 and
34 cents.
34 cents.
What's that
okay.
total again?
24,399 and 34 cents.
And that was the December payroll.
Yes.
December payroll, and that's also the amount that goes to the budget side of the cash side of the
Okay.
books.
And we have,
All right.
do we have a document?
No, we don't have a document
I
for
don't
that.
give any of those documents out.
The payroll ones, she's,
Payroll ones you can look at when you go through. Do you want to look at those now?
Don't I have to sign something?
Yeah,
We-
you will have to sign something, and I do
that will be the
trust
purchase,
you to
yes.
do
That's
it.
here we go. Let's see what's on here.
How is it that we didn't approve this?
We may
Because
not,
it just got missed. None of you remembered it.
No, I'm just curious.
Because we got paid.
You got paid, didn't you?
So that's that would have been, we would have
Okay.
approved it in
Yeah, but you
January.
guys-
No, we would have approved it at the end of the year, right? The end of the year meeting?
well, it would have been approved in the January meeting, not in the December.
And I checked the meetings, and there was nothing listed as being
I would have to check
approved.
my notes, but I don't have that sheet with me here. Okay, here's one to look at here, you guys take a look at that, and I'm just glancing at it, and then I'll pass it along. Okay. Here's the other sheet.
And this is
This is
the,
the same one, so you guys
Same
can
one?
start sign.
Yeah.
All right, but first, let us,
What's that?
We
okay,
have to vote on it before.
yes,
Yes.
right, that's what I just started saying, we're gonna vote first. So I need a motion to approve the payroll vouchers for the December 31, 2024.
I make a move. to
Okay.
Approve the payroll vouchers from December 31st, 2024.
Okay, I need a second.
I second that motion.
Samantha Arnold seconds. Sam Paxton moves, Samantha Arnold seconded. Approving the payroll vouchers for December 31st, 2024. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That payroll voucher has been approved.
Okay, then the next one, while you're going through that, is a March 31st payroll. And that amount is $23,415.41.
Okay.
Again, it's $23,415.41. And you can peruse that, sign it.
Okay, March 31st. Correct?
March 31st
Okay.
payroll.
Right.
Then while you're doing that, I'm going to send this around too, so that we save time. Somebody can have something to read all the time. This is the March 31st payroll taxes, and that amounted to $2,797.41. $2,797.41. Sam, if you'll just put them on the edge of the table there when you're through signing, since you're at the end of the line.
All right, and we need to, first of all, approve the March before we do any
Yes, we need-
signing. So you're taking a look at it, and then we'll put, you know,
Yes.
it's the same one, it's
Yeah.
just a copy,
Yeah.
okay?
One question, where are the payroll taxes for the December 31st vouchers?
I can check that out. We may have done that already, because that's on a separate issue. So I didn't, I'll check that out for next month.
We can vote on this?
Do we vote on this?
So we need to vote on this. Do we?
We are, but I'll ask for a motion if you guys don't have any questions, then,
I'll make a motion to approve the March 31st payroll.
all right, I need a second on that.
Second.
Okay, Rob Box moved, Sam Paxton seconded the approval of the March 31st payroll. Sum of $23,415.41. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, 4 ayes, the vouchers have been approved.
Okay, and I've got another payroll coming through for April.
Wait, we need the payroll taxes
So these are the
for
payroll taxes
for
here.
March.
They're coming here, the payroll taxes are coming. Here, you check one out and then send them along. Okay?
It's 2,797 as well.
We don't have to.
And this is also for the March 31st. Here we go, there's the second sheet.
Okay.
All right.
The station.
Oh, you haven't done the taxes,
Okay.
voting on the taxes.
All right, so
I make a
in case you have
motion.
any, in case they have a question.
Yes.
just Flip over that back page and see if you have a question on it.
I do not have a question. I'll make a motion to
Okay,
approve the March 31st payroll taxes.
all right, thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Ralph Fox moved, Sam Paxton seconded, approving the payroll taxes of $2,797.41. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, the ayes have it, and those vouchers have been approved.
And while you're going through that, I've got another one. It's April 30th payroll,
Yep.
$2,028.86.
Wait, is that payroll taxes or payroll?
Payroll.
Here.
We just did payroll on March
Not for April
31st.
30th.
Oh, this is April.
And it's 2,000?
When you move these things ahead, it gives you twice as many things to do the next month.
Oh, yeah. I keep them underhand.
Is the reason why December and March were bigger because they're quarters and April's only a month?
That is correct.
What's that?
That's correct.
Okay, so now we have,
Everybody gets paid quarterly except Brian. He gets paid every month.
So,
all right, so it's April payroll.
and what was the dollar amount?
Dollar amount is $2,028.86, and that's not what he gets paid. That's also about
With
the
transfer
amounts
from
that
one
we
fund
have
to
to
the other.
transfer over to.
No, yeah, I just was
Yeah,
making sure I was following.
okay.
Okay, that ends the payrolls.
And his payroll taxes are going to be included in the quarterly one?
Yeah, they're due the 15th,
Okay.
and they've been paid. You're gonna pay those in June.
Okay. 28.86.
Oh, 2 sheets. We have, what's the difference between the 2 sheets?
Okay, the first one says, building commissioner employee of IPA, and net payroll wages 97.30. Grand total 20, because, you know, it gets moved from one to another, you know, the accounts.
I have this, well, no, this is different.
Oh, this is, you're right, yours is.
These are totally different.
May 13th, what does it say on
This is
top?
supposed to be, this is May 13th.
May
We're supposed to-
13th, and mine looks different
We
too.
need April. Okay, we need April 30th. Can you give us the April 30th? These are May.
April 30th, what?
Payroll
April,
vouchers.
it says April 30th up here on mine.
But let me look.
Okay, and then here inside it says April 30th, but what's this page attached
Yours
here?
is different than mine. Mine has.
Okay, this is gross payroll.
Okay, that's gross payroll. What have you got, Sam?
I've got individual
Joe,
invoices.
these are two different kind of,
Okay,
things
this is the one I
attached.
just read is the right one.
okay, so that one is incorrect. You're going to need another copy of
I don't
this.
know if it's incorrect or if it's just
Well, I
in a
mean,
different form.
Those look like, well,
It's in a different form. The April 30th payroll.
And whatever was on there, I don't think it added up to 2028. It's not what I was looking at.
yeah, the top sheet said the correct sum, right?
Yeah.
But that's all.
Well, these two go together. It's just, that this is how it's reported originally.
So what are those two?
Then let's just,
I'm just trying to distinguish what the meaning of the difference in the two back sheets are, so I'm following.
Okay, if you add the 1,100 and the 800, you're going to come up with the same amount that's in there. They're just two different
Right,
ways of showing it.
but I see a 900 and,
Well, if you add that to the 1,100, you're going to come up with 2,000.
dollars, and then over here was 11,
9, that's not,
double it, fine. These are the sums here.
this is, so this is 11, which is 103,
1032,
64, this is,
78. Those sums are different.
the sums are different. And this one is, here's a 917. So we have 917, which you have.
Yeah,
We have 1032, which you have.
uh-huh.
But we have a 64 and a 4, at least 2, 9, 9, 8, 7. So these two together make the 78,
Okay. All right, so this should be okay then.
yes.
All right, okay.
But they have
All
different
right, here we go.
formats.
All right. Pass that on, well, let's give one to the other guys to look at.
Okay,
So you don't need this. So.
but, so this is April 30th.
April 30th.
And this says April 30th.
Mhm.
Okay. You guys can send that. So, I make a motion to approve the payroll vouchers for April 30th.
Samantha Arnold, move.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Okay, Ralph Box seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And then we need the April 30th
Okay.
payroll
Four.
taxes.
That's this.
All right,
You're
so,
not going to get those till June because they're not paid
Those are
until the
quarterly.
middle of the month. They're not even due until April 30th.
Okay.
all right, so, okay.
Got it.
All right, so these have been approved. Samantha Arnold moved, Ralph Box seconded to approve the payroll, April 30th payroll voucher of $2,028.86.
And then,
All voted in favor of approving.
and then I think the last thing we have then is the May 13th vouchers.
Wait. What happened on March 31st?
We
We
approved,
haven't even looked at it yet.
March 31st, we approved payroll vouchers.
Payroll. That's all, just the payroll. But we still have,
Oh, March vouchers.
we have March vouchers here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Let me go to March vouchers.
All right, so we have a March 31st additional vouchers, and then there's the March 31st vouchers, I think, or no, maybe these are
March
just.
31st
Okay, these are additional.
vouchers and the April 8th vouchers all ran together, so I left them together. And
Okay.
that came up to $57,060.49, and I can read them all. if
Hold
you
on,
like.
hold on.
Wait, Joan.
Hold on, Joan. So we have March 31st additional vouchers
Okay, with
plus,
The
18,
April 8th ran together.
plus
Don't ask me why.
April
8
8
vouchers.
vouchers for a total of 57,
That's $57,060.49.
all right, I'm not saying this number, 57,000.
$60,
$57,060.49.
Okay, all right, I see these here, okay. So that's the April 8th vouchers, and they were done together with which of the March
March
vouchers?
additional. and it-
March additional, which was, okay, under the March additional, you had $58,651.28.
here's right here, these two here.
Here's two of them.
No, I see that, but I'm saying, I'm just looking at this document here that you had sent.
This doesn't, are these supposed to be the same?
Yeah, I don't know, but it shows 58,651.28.
One of them is done by fund and one is done by appropriation.
But they don't match. One is 58 and 157. Oh, and that's why there's so much, because it has the crossing grant in it.
Yeah.
This one,
Okay.
does this one have the crossing grant in it? It does not.
I don't know.
These don't.
Okay, and where did the March 11th vouchers go? Where we know,
They're right here.
okay, so we have not done those yet.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a look at what's, this is what Joan passed here to sign. So April 8th vouchers. And, okay, here.
Where are you seeing 58,000? 'Cause we
On this
got other
document,
I'm
Okay.
circulating the document because
Okay.
they all didn't get on the
Okay.
computer.
Where-
So this is the two that she's saying ran together, I believe.
well, this is all one, I thought this was all one report.
It
So
is.
that means
It
part
is.
of that means that included the March 11th? No, March 11th, we're not doing. It included the March,
Additional
additional vouchers. Okay,
And
so do you
April
see
the
those
8th.
sums included here?
This is April 8th, additional vouchers, but it's all dated March 31st, March
Okay,
21st.
take, see if those numbers appear.
They don't, and these
They
do
do
not
not.
match. These do not match these. One is supposed to be in and one's supposed to be out. They do not match.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying I don't see the same, well, I'm glad that you're looking at that. Okay, Joan, this document,
Is the debate that the additional vouchers are already included in the April 8th?
it says that they're included in there
No, that can't possibly be, can it?
because, and the sums are different.
And the sums are different.
Well, I mean, you have 48,000 for
CC,
community crossings,
right.
and you have signature lawns for 34,008.
Right.
And, I mean, all the rest of them are gonna be way, I mean, does the total of the April 8th, 2025 vouchers on these two sheets total $57,060.49?
I don't know, I
Is that what
passed
you're
them
saying?
all around to you, so I can't tell.
That's what that's the assumption that we have for those two.
So then, these are in addition to the 57,000, right? The 58,000?
These are in addition. I thought
There's
these
got to
were,
be an addition because otherwise
Yeah, because you
this
got
is
credit for
really huge sums. This is
1,000.
different.
Yeah, the
Legal
one
for
sum is really
2,200,
high.
Okay, Joan,
Police for 56.
these are different, very different. We're missing some of these that you listed as April vouchers don't all appear in this.
Where's the
Okay?
top sheet?
Here, right here.
I want the top sheet.
That's
We
what
didn't
you
get the
gave
top
me.
sheet.
These are the ones you passed. We didn't look at those. We're looking at the ones you sent us.
There's another sheet that goes with these.
that's all I,
Okay, I have April, March 11th vouchers here. And then this one is May 13th vouchers here.
well, here's my March 11th, the one you sent us.
Yeah.
One page,
It's one
and it's
page.
1883.
Right, and then this is, yeah, May
The March
13th.
11th is just one page.
Okay, then that's,
It's not- they're not-
We're not even looking at March 11th. We're looking at something else that you gave us. And there was only one page, this one. I printed off each one of the vouchers that I got.
This is the one the computer printed with
Well-
all the March,
Okay, well,
but this is March additionals, not March 11th. I've got.
we
March
understand
11th
that March 11th is here, but this and that, the sums that are on here don't match, and there's things on one sheet that do not appear on the other. So that's where the discrepancies
Well,
lie.
this is the correct one.
Can't though.
And as you notice, I told you this, the wrong date came up on this one.
Well, the date is, but that's where it says community crossings. Did we pay that somewhere else?
Yeah, that was paid, I can't remember what date it was paid.
Within the last month?
This, it could have been in December because that is when we had to return money because we didn't evidently do all the paving as was expected. That's what that's for.
Okay, I hesitate, you know,
I'm not,
I hesitate to sign it if we aren't sure of what we're signing and where it belongs. So I suggest that should be reviewed, you know, that one, and then maybe,
I think the March 11th, March 31st, April 8th, and the May 13th I think we need that, Joan needs to update them so they have the right dates with the right
right,
documents, so that we understand what we're reviewing and we're all
Okay,
consistent.
go over that again. Which dates do you want redone?
March 11th, March 31st.
I have March 11th here. Let's leave that out until you go over it. That's a
Well,
second.
right now, March the 31st and April 8th,
March 31st,
April 8th, and May 13th are questionable. And then March 11th,
is here.
you send it to us via email.
yeah.
And you had those last month,
I have this here, there was,
18,300.
$18,834.
96.
Because there was a discrepancy on it last month, I remember that, but.
I don't know about a discrepancy last
No,
month.
there were
All I know is you
$7
guys threw
were
up
off.
your arms and did a number.
Last
These
month.
had to be over. Okay, those are the ones that are,
We did, actually, we approved the March 11th, this 18K. We did approve these last month.
They were approved,
The March
okay.
11th was approved last month.
but they weren't signed. So I need them signed.
Okay,
Okay.
they were approved.
There we go, you guys do that in the second.
Okay.
To me. All right, so this was for December 31st. All right. So we're holding off on the May 13th.
31st, May 31st, May 13th,
May-
March 31st, and April 8th.
Okay,
Wait,
okay, April 8th is the other document, okay, April 8th. Extra sheets.
here you guys go.
Okay.
These are the March 11th that we approved last month.
Which
Did not
needs
sign.
signatures, because you ran out of here without getting them signed.
We signed everything that was passed to us, Joan.
We got cemetery.
But that's fine, whatever was passed, we signed. It perhaps was not passed over, but we're fine now. All right,
Okay, so what leaves open is
The
payroll
eighth-
taxes for December.
we just did that.
No,
No,
payroll
we didn't.
taxes for December, we did not.
Okay,
And then March 31st, additional vouchers, April 8th vouchers, and May 13th are the outstanding
Why are
ones.
we, did we review May 13th?
Not yet, it was this one, but, no, this is March 31st, never mind.
yeah, I passed mine along to Joan, the smaller one, but it was one that was sent out to us. Okay, which did not match that other, the sums are different. Okay. All right, so I think we're done with the vouchers for this particular time now. Anything else left over, we're going, as Samantha read out, we're going to address next month.
Why aren't we doing May 13th voucher?
Because
Do we have,
we do have May 13th vouchers here.
let me see.
See, this one is over here, May 13th. This is the one, so that one's actually all right. We could probably look at this one.
May 13th,
$209,322.90.
209,300.
209,322.90.
That's got $120,000 that we had to transfer in order to get the loan.
Oh, it went from,
They had to have
Account to account.
$100,000 in a
Surety at the bank.
CD and a
Cell tower
$20,000 as
investment.
the initial,
So is that a transfer of funds goes on to the accounts payable vouchers?
anything that goes on a voucher is accounts payable voucher as far as this system is
it just
concerned.
gets accounted for.
That
It's kind of different.
$100,000 is going to be
Purchase
transferred
CD.
to a receipt
For your CD that,
for the CD and also for the checking account.
Got it, okay, so then we can do this one.
Yeah, the 31st should be okay. April 8th and March. That's May, that one's what, May 11th? May 11th.
And then we have all the global
13.
charges in here.
All the what?
Global engineering charges in here.
That's correct.
And then the leaf, if that's not the, just gonna double check.
What the amount was for?
Yeah,
The newest one, is that the old? That's the old?
that's the December, but no, I
Yes.
think that's the right.
I have some questions on the May 13th.
Yeah, we're on,
What do you have a question on?
First of all, I'm not familiar with AE Voice Company and what they do for you.
AE Voice, they're the owners of the Keystone system,
Okay,
and they actually write the programs.
okay. So those are software license fees and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah, that's for the software. And we pay it every year.
I notice on this list, there's also an entry for signature lawns, which I forget which one we reviewed. I think it was the April 8th.
did we, I want to
We
double
did
check.
not approve it, but, okay, this says, oh, signature lawns, this is the December.
And it's, did we, is there,
This is the 2024.
this is the incorrect one that's $2,000 or
that we
$3,000
didn't-
short.
That we didn't pay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we paid it, but
We
when,
did pay it.
and do we have the
Well, we didn't pay it
additional,
on time.
do we have the additional amount for the additional $3,000? At least on top of
I
that?
don't remember what the additional amount was, but I had checked with Jason and we had it all worked out.
Did you, I mean, did you pay him the additional amount?
I paid him after I got the contract, the signed contract, because the one I had was working on the one from the previous year, and the difference was it.
So I know you sent him, the first check was the one that you reflects here, that was 34. And then you sent him, you were gonna send him an additional amount, so do we have
Yeah,
that?
it's in one of these that I circulated.
So we just need to look for that.
So these entries are the exact same. They're for December 2024 invoice. They're appearing on both the May 13th and then also the April 8th vouchers. So
No, wait, where's my,
that doesn't seem appropriate. And they're both dated 3/28/25.
I don't have that, it's this one.
Yeah.
So the May 13th has, there it is, 34. And it's in the April 8th too? I don't have the
I
April
don't
8th.
have, I gave Joe my April 8th, so I don't have that.
Let me look. Did we get the April 8th in email?
I'll look.
I think I got it. So this tells me that we may need to, so this, wonder if we need to get all these, have printouts of April 8th and May 31st, May 13th, so we can compare them? It sounds like there's some questions. We thought we could approve them, but if we're,
No, those are the ones that we said we weren't approving, the April 8th and March 31st. Those are the ones that
well,
we
we
set
were thinking
aside.
about approving the May, I'm sorry, we thought we were going to
Yeah,
approve the
the
May,
May-
but now we've got some questions in
That's right.
relation to the other ones.
All right, so let's set aside that one. So we're
Yeah.
going to set that one aside. We already set aside the, right there.
So I have that we will, I'm going back to my list,
Right,
we have not approved
the combined.
payroll taxes for December, I'm going chronologically. Payroll taxes for April, but they'll come later. March 31st, additional vouchers, April 8th vouchers, and May 13th vouchers. Those are the ones that remain that we need to
Yes.
review.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So those have been tabled until next month.
Yep.
Okay. Is this the that I had before?
Yeah, that's number 34,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on now to the resolutions and ordinances and our tree ordinance, second reading. Sam, take it away.
Yeah,
By title only, I hope.
Pardon?
By title only, I hope.
Brad, we can do that, correct?
It was read in its entirety at the last.
It was.
If the board chooses to vote or to read by title only, they can. The three-quarters vote requires it to be read in full, it should be read.
Okay,
So I'm sorry.
You can read by title.
just title only.
Really, it's on second reading, you should read title and section titles.
Okay. Pull it up. We'll go off Ralph's last version. He said he didn't change anything, so we'll see.
Way himself as the trees are.
That's the last job I want in this town.
Town of Michiana Shores Ordinance 2025-03. An ordinance amending the tree ordinance to protect the public health, safety, and general welfare of the town of Michiana Shores while promoting the beauty and heritage of the town's trees and shrubbery for the town of Michiana Shores, Indiana. The Town Code of the Town of Michiana Shores, Title III, Public Health, Safety, and Welfare, Article 1, General Regulations, Chapter 13, Cutting of Trees, shall be replaced in its entirety by the following.
Okay. And that's enough, correct?
No other section heads?
Pardon?
There are no other sections?
Do I read all those sections?
Just the head titles.
Okay. Chapter 13, Comprehensive Tree Ordinance, Section 3-1-13-1, Application of Chapter, Section 3-1-13-2, Purpose, Section 3-1-13-3, Definitions, Section 3-1-13-4, Unimproved/vacant lots, Section 3-1-13-5, Improved lots, Section 3-1-13-6, New construction and remodeling, Section 3-1-13-7, Maintenance of trees and/or vegetation, Section 3-1-13-8, Permit requirement, Section 3-1-13-9, Administration of ordinance, Section 3-1-13-10, Violations, Section 3-1-13-11, Penalties, Section 3-1-13-12, Remedies, Section 3-1-13-13, Appeals.
Thank you, Sam. So now I need a motion to approve.
I would make a motion to approve the ordinance 2025-03
Okay, on second reading.
on second.
Second reading, okay. I need a second.
I second.
Okay, it has been moved by Ralph Box and seconded by Sam Paxton to approve the new tree ordinance 2025-03 on second reading. All in favor of this, approving this ordinance, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So I have 2 copies here for signature, and Sam and I'll sign them and send them.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, and in the meantime, I will move on quickly to the next part. We have a section called 6 capital A, and that is an appointment to the Plan Commission. Chris Wolf, having moved to the state of Michigan, is now no longer on our Plan Commission. So in his place, we are appointing Kara Scholler to be a citizen member. She has been a secretary, and she will forego her salary and in order to remain as a voting member on the APC, and she will also still take notes, she said. So I am making that appointment this evening, and Carol will fill it out. Now we will have a full board of 7. Okay, now, and just a reminder to everyone that Andrew Bertocchini accepted the position of floodplain administrator. We announced that earlier, but I'll just remind everybody about that. Okay, departmental reports. Police Chief Mark Swistek is not here tonight, and we did get a report from him via email. You know, I think most everybody, and so I don't know if there was anything. I didn't read through the entire thing, so I don't know if anything of note was put in there, but we can always ask him to give us more info next month. He was not able to come. Fire Chief Gary Bendix is also not here. He did send a fire report, and what I recall from it was that the pancake breakfast was a very good success. So those are good things from him. Building Commissioner, Code Enforcement Officer Brian Alexander, your turn. Stand up so that we can be closer to the microphone to get everything, okay? Thank you.
I have the commissioner report for May, and I'm sending out copies here. You can just pass it around. There were 6 new building reports, building permits that were issued. And they vary from roof replacement to the new car charger and a couple of small remodeling projects. And then for the STR renewal, the one that was in process is now up for, it's now in question in that the owner has offered the property for sale, and that's Mr. Finn at 3839 Brookline Avenue.
Brookside.
And so they're going to, the BZA will look into it and see what the status of it is at their next meeting, because it's on their agenda.
So the BZA has not given them a special use grant.
They haven't approved it yet, they're going to
They haven't even heard it yet, have they?
reconsider it because of the fact that it's for sale, and want clarification from the owner.
Okay.
They have not even, addressed it yet at the meeting. Because since their application, it was discovered that they're selling.
And then for code violations, there was construction activity at 3717 Brookside Drive, and I investigated it and found that they had dismantled part of their porch and they had poured a new concrete foundation there. So it looked to me like they were going to put in a new hot tub, and I was able to talk to the owner, and they did say that they wanted to have a replacement hot tub, the one that was malfunctioning. However, the situation at the property is that it's in the floodway, and so she needs to get approval from the DNR, and I made that request to her, and she's going to fill that out. In addition, it was found that her properties at 3717 Brookside are in separate lots. And in order to build in the floodway, we need a 15,000 square foot lot, which they don't have. And so they have to go through the process of combining the lots.
Okay.
And then, once those 2 things are done, then she's going to apply for the permit so that it can be properly inspected for plumbing and electrical, and she can proceed with her hot tub installation.
Okay, good.
And the other code violation was 424 Groveland, and that was, there were complaints about cutting of tree limbs and stocking of wood at that site, and I made an investigation, and when I was there on April 29th, there was a smaller pile, and then when I came back on the 9th of May, there was a larger pile with the machine there. So I believe the machine is causing the problem, and that people are complaining about it. And I put the information to the people that I was able to talk to, and they're going to relay it. And I will be following up on it to make sure that we can't have an activity that's going to cause noise and is going to, for example, if you're going to get an approved business, you can't have one where your site is going to be storing your materials. And you can't have one that makes noise. And so those issues have to be addressed. And so I will be following up on it.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on. Park Board reports. First of all, Sam, you said you're going to give it, or is Skip going to give? Whatever for the Park Board.
I have a park board report for you all.
Okay,
The park board met on Monday, May 12th. The next meeting will be June 23rd, 2025. Thank you to Ralph Box, Skip Moffo, and Nick Wolf for removing the fence on the west side of the tennis court, allowing for contract work to begin. The resurfacing has been delayed a couple of weeks due to contractor schedule. The grand opening will take place on July 5th at 9:30 with a round robin tournament, children's clinic, and lots of free prizes, all thanks to the hard work of Skip Moffo. Maple City has been hired to remove the felled tree at the trailhead, the nature trailhead on El Portal. The tree was down by NIPSCO and left for us to clean up. The town cleanup was a huge success thanks to a large group of volunteers under the leadership of Beth Joby. A notably large amount of trash was collected along Old Grand Beach Road. Other areas were also included. The volleyball court was dismantled during the town cleanup. This area will be seeded with grass. The park board is working out a master plan for Leeds to make it more usable space for Michiana Shores. The large swing set in Kincaid Park will be dismantled in June. Replacement is being investigated. Notable dates: Park Booster Garage Sale is to be held June 6th and 7th from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Art for Park's Sake, July 5th at the Dune Summer Theater. And then the grand opening of the pickleball tennis tournament, July 5th, starting at 9:30 a.m.
Okay, thank you very much. Sam, for giving Jean's report. Now let's follow up with Skip's information. Please.
It's brought to my attention that I probably should supply the town council with the finances regarding the court resurfacing project, especially when it comes to paying the vendors, which hopefully that's going to happen here shortly. I've been in communication with the contractor, and although we're getting slow rolled right now, I'm confident it's going to take place here short. But anyway, it's just a quick summation of the financial summary for the court project.
Okay.
Any questions?
Awesome.
It's pretty straightforward.
Cool. We're looking forward to seeing it.
Yes, I'm anxious. As Sam mentioned, we had all the work done with the great help of Ralph and Nick Wolf. And so we're anxious. I mean, we got in there, we thought the contractor was going to be there the next day. So
Yeah.
everything's ready to go. It's still expected to not take long, and
Okay.
be ready for play shortly.
All right, good. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead. Okay, moving on to Road Commissioner Bob.
36 hours were put in for the month of April. New truck, or the big, new truck is in service. The decals have all been put on. The old truck, when I pulled it out of the garage to power wash it, to take pictures for the sales of the old truck, the brake pedal decided to go to the floor. So it's that new one now, he's having a hard time finding the parts, and hopefully it's not real expensive. I know he has to pull the rear axle in order to get to where the line is broken.
Okay,
I
wow.
do have a question on my request that I sent out for the equipment that I needed for $612.22. I'd like to get approval for that purchase.
Okay, do you all require, or recall
Yes.
that, what Bob had sent? Any questions, about those?
About the additional.
Yeah, the $614, I think, right, you said?
$612.
Or $12, okay, all right. So if there are no questions, then, we need to make a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the estimates of costs submitted by Bob Sikowski, Road Commissioner.
Okay, I need a second on that?
I second that.
Okay. Sense, okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Ayes.
And is there a dollar amount that I need to exceed in order to get council approval for spending?
We've discussed this stuff, and how much can be done in advance, so I think we need to review it. That was done a couple of years ago. So what we need to do is, let's go back to those papers, what we had talked about, to make sure that it's clear, because I think that there was, smaller amounts were supposed to be approved as something for your department. If it's a larger expense, I believe, it had to be cleared. But I don't recall the sums right now. I don't know if anybody else recalls from what that was, but we'll go back over that paperwork and make sure we clear that up for the next time around, okay?
What was the dollar amount again?
6/12/14.
6/12/14.
6/12/22.
And
22.
The amounts may be different based on whether it's an emergency versus
Right.
That's true.
just like this.
Exactly.
Things that need
And
to
this
be
was-
done. So-
And this was for a list of smaller items, so these would be things that would generally be approved. You gotta buy, windshield wipers, that
But we
shouldn't
went
have to
through all
come to
this a
us.
couple of
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
It's-
Yeah,
And-
it's in there somewhere. I
And
think
Bob,
that
this
should be
was,
good.
this was for the truck?
Yeah, this,
Well, there's a,
but part of
the
it
new
is,
truck has something that's called jet fluid.
Oh, yeah, I know what that is.
We need to get some of that. The caution lights that need to
Gotcha.
be put on the new truck.
right, that's on top,
The shop vac took a dump, so I need to get a new shop vac.
okay.
Right, I remember asking for that.
And the last one was a leaf blower.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
already got the Eco powered, battery powered trimmer. So I just need the tool itself with the leaf blower.
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah.
I need to clean off the tractor and the mower.
Right.
All right.
Gotcha.
Okay, all reasonable, and each one of them was way under any kind of a large expense, so, okay.
Can I just go back to something Skip mentioned in his report? Are you having challenges paying the vendor? Or they haven't done any work yet, so you have everything in place, they're already approved, you have, all
Yes.
that is.
Everything's approved, and then I thought things were gonna happen rapidly with the vendor. I said, oh, I better figure out how he's gonna be paid
Okay,
when he submits final draw.
yeah,
So I
because,
got ahead of myself, and now we're fine.
okay, so out of the 20,000 that we have raised for the project, $15,221 is coming from the park boosters. Are they paying, the boosters paying the balance of the amount due?
I didn't really have a plan on what the hierarchy, who pays first. Should I go to the boosters and get their 15,000 and then come to Joan, to the town for the balance of whatever
Okay,
is due? However you want me to do it, I'll do it.
Okay, well, Joan would have to tell you what she needs for the town,
Yes.
by way of purchase orders or anything like that, so you have to discuss that with Joan.
Right.
One of the things we need is a copy of their insurance, liability insurance, and the fact that they use E-Verify. They have to say they
Right.
use E-Verify. There were several things in your bid that I didn't see any paperwork on it.
I didn't bring that with me, but I have.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I have.
we do need that.
Okay.
That has to be on record.
Okay, all right. Cool. All right, Sam?
yep.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, so Advisory Plan Commission, Isaac isn't here and he didn't get online, did he? Isaac?
No.
No, okay.
The Plan Commission, we heard and debated an extensive rehab project. I forget the address, but it was
3851 Brookside.
determined that because of various reasons, it needed to go to the BZA prior to any more work by the Plan Commission.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Andrew is not here for floodplain administrator, and he is involved peripherally on that, project as well as an advisor because it's part of the floodplain, that building. Okay. And he'll have more to do because someone called me today asking about purchasing the property at 3938 Brookside, and they wanted to put a pool in, and I explained, you're gonna have fun, well, not have fun, but that's gonna go through Andrew, with regards to anything. Okay, nothing from Matt on the BZA, no reports, no calls on that. White Ditch Drainage Board, okay, we all know that the Drainage Board is going to be clearing out the sections of the ditch that go from Oakdale to El Portal to Pokagon, and Pokagon to the state line. So they came through last week on Friday, very early in the morning, and they marked all the various places where they will want something removed, meaning, any kind of trees, structures that may be in the way. So they did come and do that. Now, one of the things that I asked them about, because I was asked about that by Sam, the trees that are marked on the trail side, they are recommending that those trees come down. They may not need to come down right before, I'm not sure if they have to come down. I don't think they're going to be in the way, because there's a lot of space around them, but the recommendation is that there are the bigger trees that are pretty much dead that should come down on the trail.
Okay, so I walked the section between El Portal and Oakdale today, and there were half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 trees marked, all on the trail side, none on the opposite side. And some of them were very large trees, some were this big. And I didn't get a feeling that it was a space issue per se, because, the trail goes back and forth. It's not a continuous 20-foot section. But I didn't see a rhyme or reason to it. I'm not saying there isn't one, but I was looking for exactly what you're proposing, that they're going to need to drive a dump truck down the thing, and they would need X amount of space. I didn't get that feeling, but again, I didn't measure everything. I didn't
Do we
take.
know how wide their equipment is?
Well, if you recall, when the meeting took place here, they talked about driving through. They haven't done that, and they will not be doing that, but like twice on doing 2 8-foot kind of sections. So the assumption is that they need about 16 feet approximately there. Of course, this is going to be a vehicle with an articulated arm, a digger with a great tall arm and stuff like that. So it's going to be moving to the various different sides.
Can they operate that on the incline down to the ditch?
I think I watched videos on their website. I took a look at that when I came home from the meeting today, and it does go down and in, because the video I watched for 3 minutes and 18 seconds show that it does.
The digger's in the water. And it's in the middle of the channel.
Probably on the track, right?
Right.
But I think they would have trucks or other equipment up on the side.
But see, they're not taking away any of that. It's going to be dumped on.
That they
On
mentioned
the
that
path.
specifically,
Yeah, they're not-
that they weren't going to be
And-
bringing in
Yeah.
a dump truck.
The other thing
Yeah.
about trees, there are many giant trees leaning over the water on the north side, the undeveloped side.
Yeah.
And none of those are marked. So this was very specifically to
To access the ditch.
the access point. It
Yes.
wasn't, that's not the only trees they're going to take down, is
So-
kind of what I'm saying.
So are they saying that it's our responsibility?
Anything that's on the trail that is what I understood, and I checked with them after the meeting was finished too. I don't know, Brad, did you understand anything differently?
What I understood is anything that's marked, you should expect it to be removed. If you want to remove it ahead of time, remove it, otherwise the contractor will remove it. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be removed, but if it's marked, if
It
it
may be.
can.
Oh, so it's not
ours.
And there were no structures marked
Trying to
that I saw, and I didn't,
Pardon?
I didn't go into anybody's yard, but one of the concerns people had was, if I got a shed back there, but I didn't see any structures that were marked for takeout.
Yeah, well, our shed was not marked, but I was reminded that it's going to have to come down. However, there's more than 16 feet, because we measured that after that last meeting took place. And we had a shed at exactly that spot before when it was cleaned, and the shed did not have to be taken down. So I'm gonna, we're not moving it, because that would mean we'd have to literally collapse it, and then, I don't know that we could go back up again, because this is not one piece, it was built on site.
There are quite a few trees on the private properties.
People have asked.
That are marked.
People emailed us and asked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the section that Ralph walked.
Yeah.
I walked earlier. There are a lot of peak marks on, like, not huge trees, but like
Yeah.
that one home that has all these pine trees or hemlocks that, you kind of almost have to duck your head to get
Yeah.
under.
Yes.
A lot of those are marked with pink, so.
Well, those people will then have to, I don't know if they're gonna pull them all off. But they will be, every property owner that is affected is going to be receiving a letter. The secretary of the board told me today that the letters will be generated in early June and sent out to all those homeowners. And of course, homeowners have seen those.
I think the more we can communicate that to the residents, the better.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that can happen is people not be aware of it, and then all of
Right.
a sudden they come back for the weekend. And
Oh, yeah. Well, we had reached out, I had reached out and sent emails to
Yeah.
personally, I sent every homeowner that had a property on the ditch, about the meetings, and then I'll follow up with them too. And some have already noticed and contacted me and asked, on where that stands. So there are going to be things that have to come down and others, and then of course they had said if you don't take them down, they will take them down if they need to move them. But they are going to be taking out a number of trees that are currently in the ditch, I guess from the other side that have fallen out, so they are going to be removing those.
Yeah, there's 3 big trees.
Yes,
in the creek.
and they are going to be removing them,
And they've been there
yes.
for 2 months.
Right, well, and then, and they're going to be taking those down. I have reported those in the past at the meeting, so they know, and they're going to take care of those. I guess somebody actually came out, one of the board members, or 2 of the board members came out with the county to see if the county might be able to help out and get some of that out, but the county said it's too far off the road for them. It wouldn't be considered their work, to do so. Everybody has their own, jobs. So that's the update on White Ditch. I don't think I forgot anything, did I, Brad? No, that was it on that. Okay, Samantha, I wrote down website instead of technical.
So I would say just let's call this website and technology.
I know, I forgot to
section.
add that.
So,
See, under role, it does say that.
I know.
Uh-huh.
In terms of the website, we had a nice little bump in traffic, but really it was a bot. So we're about the same as we were last year. Our traffic is fine, but we had a big spike, but it was, there's a little bot out there that was hitting our site. And so I'm trying to remove that. Overall, the top page in April was the public notice to taxpayers about an additional appropriation meeting, but the bot hit a lot of that. But it also got a lot of non-bot traffic. So that was, but people were actually, then our buddy, the garlic mustard, popped back up again, and now followed by its new pal, the Oriental bittersweet. We have a post about these, so people really like to read about the invasive species. Also up there was the pancake breakfast. Bob already left, but they got a lot of traffic too. So we had 5 submissions of people reaching out to us during the month, contact us stuff. I think we talked about forming a committee to work on
Yes.
the recodification, and we're saying that it can be non-town council members as well
I
as,
think that was,
yeah.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be voting, the proposal would come to the
They would
council.
just, the proposal would come to the town, but they could review it and offer suggestions and things like that. So we'll get that going. And,
Go on. Okay, we will add it.
and then the third thing under technology is, we talked about last time that we're still looking at getting an office suite. We haven't, I have not gotten the quotes. I've asked a couple times for the Google Suite quote from the state of Indiana. They said they're too small to get Microsoft Office, but Google Workspace is what they will give to smaller municipalities. And previously, when I priced it out, it was very, very inexpensive, but I asked for a new price. I have not gotten that yet.
Okay.
so I've got a question. I've noticed over the last, let's say, months, I'm getting a lot more unrequested solicitation emails to my town email.
To your Gmail. That's
My
what's a Gmail.
Gmail.
That's actually a Gmail.
And, I'm not exactly sure how it happens, the
When you
state
say, are they about you as a town official or just general spam to
just, hey, we got services for you,
Oh, yeah.
generic.
Oh, yeah.
And, the first thing I think of is the state has let, they've let somebody mine the gold and they've given
Well,
the email addresses.
Yeah, our email addresses are on the website. You
Yeah,
can
I
scrape
know,
the
but
website.
it's unlikely somebody's, digging up my email address.
Oh, sure they are.
Oh, no, they
Oh,
should.
totally, 100%.
So the bots are doing
The
it
bots
for large
scrape,
companies?
they scrape every emails, every website, every day for any email,
So
and
are
they
we
sell
gonna
it.
have a better situation when we go to the new system?
We'll probably have a little bit better spam control because we'll have a paid
Yeah.
version, not a free version.
Yeah,
And we should also have, well, Indiana probably manages it, I'll check with them, but we usually have an admin panel where you can block and control things, but yeah.
Secretary of State's email got hacked this morning.
yeah, you know, he sent us all a note.
Kelly.
And you know, it's not like I spend much time on it. I delete every one of these things. I don't
Yeah,
waste
I
any
will,
time.
as an example, I will tell you that that's a good comparison. That my town Gmail hasn't been spammed that much, which I'm surprised. But I also do work for a friend of mine who has business, she uses Google paid for their business. I've had an email address through there for 8 years, and I don't get, I get even way less spam because it's a paid managed account.
monitored.
And it's not a high-cost enterprise.
Okay. Well, that's
So you're still gonna get them because they're always gonna be scraped, anything, and now we've got, I mean, good and bad, when we get town email addresses, it'll be .gov.
Yeah.
Pros and cons for that. But that's a good question to ask. Something that I can also check with about if we have
Yeah.
flexibility to ratchet up the security or spam blockers, really.
It's like you sort of get used to them showing up, so
Well,
that's.
if I have
why.
access to
Click,
the
click, click,
spam
click.
filters, I can set it up myself.
Yeah. Maybe I'll make you the spam king.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So now we actually went into new business, because I still have it under new business, the town codification code, and now Ralph asked the question, about, I mean, you brought this up, or Samantha brought this up with the committee, so that was all I was going to ask about that, that would be 9A, unless you
Yeah.
have any other additional information to
You
give us on
skipped
that.
NERPA.
NERC, there's nothing to report. The meeting is on Thursday. I'll let you know because they canceled the big meeting that was supposed to take place in early April. There's a meeting taking place now in May. I think, or maybe it was March, I can't remember which. So I'll be there on Thursday morning and I'll report back next time around. Okay, so new business codification of the town code to bring it up to date. Anything else you wanted to add on that, Samantha, or is that it pretty much?
No, I'll just recruit some people and we'll get started.
Okay, so can I move on?
Yep.
All right, so under B, I wrote down review of fees and fines in the town to bring them up to current amounts or things that, other cities use and so forth, because ours is our schedule is a little bit skewed, I think, on the fees. And we definitely know that there are a lot of fees that are totally out of date in the code, so that we would like to work on all of that. But since the town codification or ordinance codification will take place, we'd like to have all the fees updated, in advance of that as well, so that that can be included. So in order to do that, I started checking out and working on fees and fines that are being levied by communities in Indiana, and I chose the beach communities. So I collected information, even Chief Swistick sent me some stuff from from Long Beach. So I'm looking at Long Beach, Beverly Shores, and Ogden Dunes. I could look at more, and if you have more, maybe Brad to send me somebody, but
I
these
think
are the
that's
ones,
good.
that's 3, that'll give us a good idea. So I started collecting that information. I already have it all on the actual building, and I'm also looking into trying to find out on their fees, and I've reached out and written to each community to ask on how they set their fines and if they have a special separate schedule and not have to search through their entire code, to look for it. So I've started working on that, so we could get those ready.
So you'll present it so that you will be compiling a
It would be, yeah.
summary and present it to the council.
Absolutely, and then that way we would have to have a public meeting, and, because if we change, fines and fees and stuff like that, we have to do a public meeting. But we have to bring ourselves up to date. $5 and $10 just don't make it.
If you have any issue getting a response from any of us, please let me know and I can probably reach out to the council.
Thank you, excellent, thank you very much. Okay, that would be great. Okay, C, review of potential nuisance violations throughout the town. Sam, you had said you wanted to add that.
I know that we have still a couple of these still in motion. But in walking around, driving around the town, it seems like there are a few other properties that we probably need to look at. I'll work with Brian to kind of talk to him about some of them. In general, in addition to the, typical, what we would think of a property that is not being kept up to proper code, would be vacant lots that have large amounts of tree matter, fallen trees, limbs and whatnot that are, been collected over the year. I think of the corner of Brookside and Oakdale. There's it's either Brookside or Birchwood. But anyway, there's a huge amount of dead tree debris there. And it, quite frankly, it's unsightly, but it also, all this fallen tree debris needs to get picked up at some point or disposed.
It's a fire hazard.
It's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll work with Brian and we'll
Okay.
come up with a potential list for everyone to review.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm bringing up the registration form for full-time resident rentals because we have a number of homes here where people are claiming full-time residency and they're also renting them out as rental homes. And I know one is coming up that I think that they just want to use it as an STR, even though they're, not like long-term rentals and whatever. So we had started a registration form and I would like us to complete that form so that we would be able to make sure that we have something to hand out to some of these people because it would be very good for us to have an idea, for the police to have an idea, for the fire department to have an idea of what places are actually being rented or claimed as these full-time rentals. I know that we cannot control them in another way. However, these are people who are renting their homes and to make sure that they're actually, maybe safe for the people here because I don't want to get in trouble as a town that we've allowed these rentals to take place and then potentially something happens. So anyway, it was a very simple form. Ralph, you were working on that. You forwarded to me, I think,
Yeah,
or somebody worked on
something
that, maybe, whatever.
2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
I forwarded that to you.
Right, so I think I'm gonna take a look at that again too. Maybe I'll do it with, together with Brian, and then we'll bring it back to the town and to see, whether we can, firm it up and then just make sure that it's available for anybody, to pick up, or if we know that somebody is a full-time resident claiming to be full-time resident and they're renting, that we can drop this off and have them fill it out.
So it needs,
So-
it will always be something that have to come to the town office and get as allowed as opposed to do it on the website.
I don't know, we will make a determination on that later on.
Yeah, it could likely just be something that Brian keeps on file.
That's right, and he could always provide it to
It's
us.
not like he's gonna walk the houses, we
Yeah.
don't have any jurisdiction.
Yeah, right. So, okay, so I just wanted to bring that up, that would be something up on this. Now, Brad, anything on the attorney report?
Sure, we have a date coming up May 27th at 10:30, and that's on, kind of as Sam was talking about, a couple of pending nuisance claims and Eureka events. That's technically a status conference to bring them back in front of the judge
Okay.
to kind of clarify where we want to go with it from here.
Okay,
So what I would ask, I would like somebody at the board to be there that
Okay.
day with me. It's not an evidentiary hearing, but
okay,
that way if the judge has any questions, we can, address where the town wants to go with it. But ahead of time, especially since it's been so long now, and for both of those, an update from the board members, what your expectations are for those properties. I think Vance is probably a little more clear, but Eureka, after he passed, they did do some work. My
yeah,
understanding
but
is
the
they're still-
stuff is accumulating, so,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah,
What was the second one?
What was this?
The people that started to build a garage in front of their house.
The Pontchartrain Banks?
The garage has been removed.
Yeah,
has it now been?
it's been removed, however, it took it
It's
until
fully
now.
removed, and the fence that they built on the side of the house, that's completely gone.
I saw that the wrought iron fence was still there.
And the one in the back.
Oh,
Are
okay.
they in compliance now then, or?
We have to take a look
We have
at,
to look at what the list of, there were a number of things that were identified over a period of time because they kept doing different things.
Review it and let me know via email. before-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
okay.
probably in the complaint, I would imagine, some.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at
In
that,
fact,
right,
I
but you
think
got
I
it,
did
okay.
take pictures.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
all right. Okay, so then you check with Brad, okay, Sam? Are you interested in going to that? Are you gonna be around May 27th
I'll
or
have
not?
to check.
Okay, check and then
Yeah.
let us know, okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Is that it?
That's it.
That's pretty much it, okay. Miss Laney's business, we have a springtime leaf collection take place just this past week. And what came up was that a number of residents in town did not understand what encompasses sticks and twigs on their property as opposed to logs and lumber and construction debris. And I think that the Signature Lawns and Jason's crew were much kinder to the people than they should have been. They should have left a lot more behind. Because some of them, did have an awful lot of stuff and, branches that are thick as somebody's leg, let alone, an arm. So those things don't belong in our stick and twig collection. So I think we need to remind people about that. And by the way, Samantha, I did take a couple pictures, not only of the big ones, but of small piles, so people would understand these are sticks and twigs.
Yeah, I think you send a lot, but I remind people next time I
Yeah.
put pictures.
Right, so that will be for fall, I figure, we'll do that. So I just wanted to bring that up, okay? Next, we had communications that were received. I got an email from Amanda Marion regarding speeding that she feels, takes place between Meadow and Oakdale on El Portal. That they got a good speed going from once they leave the turn over here, and then they're zipping on their way down towards Oakdale. And she's concerned because she has a small child, and she says, you watch them, but just in case somebody should walk out. So that, and I did mention that to police chief, and he says he will take it under, he knows, and he will also be warning his, officers to pay more attention to what's going on over here, in that section. And then perhaps later on, we can discuss in case we need to do something, even drop the speed limit to 15 there or something. I mean, I don't know, how hard that would be to try to enforce, or maybe even from the curve for 15 miles an hour, and then, or put up
Well, we
signs.
do have that sign that we put in for.
It's way down, yeah, and we can move it,
I know
I
it
guess.
needs specific kinds of mounting, Bob's gone, but.
Yeah.
The potential exists is that we could put a mounting thing
Right, and
closer to the hill.
Right, yeah,
And so that people see it right when they come over the hill.
yeah, so that might be
I
good.
think it's probably just people entering and picking up steam until they
Oh,
see
yeah.
there's a stop sign.
Right, so, but anyway, but when we did install that, I remember the discussion did take place that we'll be able to move it, to somewhere else, that it's not like
Yeah, you need to
permanent.
put a post in. to
Right,
mount it.
right, to be able to stick it in, okay.
There was a second location by Kincaid.
I think so by Kincaid, because that's an issue too.
I
Okay.
haven't seen
Yeah.
that anything was put in, so.
Okay,
We
so
need
we
to
have
have this
to check.
conversation with Bob anyway. to
Right,
see the
okay,
status.
but just, that's, I wanted to bring that up, and then there are several other issues that have come up here that I need to mention, okay? There have been numerous complaints about a tree on El Portal, and Sam, that's the one that you talked about. So I've gotten different calls from people, I've even gotten, somebody from the Michigan side, I've gotten a phone call and a personal, stop off at my house, about it. But what I did is, I know that you had already talked to NIPSCO, and I didn't ask you in advance on what you did, but I went online to NIPSCO and I took a look about dangerous trees, and where it says, do not handle, do not cut on your own if it's any danger of touching wires. And I'm like, all right, so maybe you call the same one, I don't know, but I call that number. And I spoke with 2 different people there, and I'm supposed to get a call back now I just did that today. So they said within 14 days or 10 business days, give them, and they're gonna send somebody out here to look at it. I explained that it belongs to somebody, but that the end of it, looking at the tree and how big it is, I said, just doing a real quick, geometrical look there, I was like, that's gonna come down straight on the wires, if that big one comes down there.
Yes.
So, to see about what they might be able to do on taking that one down for us, on El Portal, since it's our high-traffic street. So we'll find out in 2 weeks on what they do with that one. So I've got information from them on that. So there's a tree here. Okay, then I did get a couple of, Bob's not here, I got a couple of complaints already that Bob cut down ground cover and then left branches hanging, from places where he was doing it. So those were comments that were made. They stopped at my house to tell me this. Then, what was it, a comment about speeding? Well, that was not the El Portal one, that was done. Okay, so I'm done with that one. And then, there were, what else was it? Okay, and then there were comments that Brian already addressed, and I had gotten calls and emails with regards to the noise and excessive cutting of logs, and one of the complaints was that I guess whoever left the logs there was driving the wrong way up the road. So, back up Chippewa instead, on the other way around. So these are the contacts or the communications that were received by me, in person, online, or via telephone call. Does anybody else have any comments on that? Did anybody get contacts for anything else?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right, so those are done, and now we move into public comment. Anybody want to make public comment? No? Okay, council comments? No council comments, all right. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you very much, and the meeting is adjourned. It is now, wow, this is a late one, 8:38.
Yes, sir.
Woo.